Today's episode is brought to you by Mazars. SoundCartel. I'm overwhelmed and I'm out of control. That's the cry from so many people these days. What's really needed is the ability to set limits and create breathing space to help focus on the important things. From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. An important way of creating space for yourself is by saying no to people, which Donna McGeorge admits can be a very hard thing to do. Donna is a productivity expert and author of several books, including The 25-Minute Meeting, Half the Time, Double the Impact. Chris Ashmore asks Donna why many of us seem to have so much to do, but no time to do it.
Well, I just think we take on too much. You know, a lot of us are really nice people and we don't know how to say no. And when someone asks us to do something, if it's work-based, we don't like saying no because we're worried someone's going to think we're disengaged or not a team player. If it's personal, it's even harder because we've got family and friends and we don't want to let them down. And so we find ourselves just overwhelmed. And so at work, it's overwhelmed with work. And you'll know you're feeling this in your personal life if, it gets to 4 o'clock on a Sunday and you're just kind of starting your weekend, because you've just done so much stuff over your weekend. So I'm all about helping people have some boundaries and helping them how they say no and how they think about their boundaries, both in their personal and their professional lives.
So what's your advice then? How do we give ourselves some boundaries, some breathing space?
Well, first of all, it's the difference between fulfillment and burnout, frankly. So we really need to do it so that we don't overload ourselves and burn out. And it is about making sure that the first thing we want to do is be super clear about what are the most important things to us. Now, just to give you an example of this, my parents are currently thinking about moving house. And I keep saying to them, what's the priority? And they keep saying, I want to be near family. And every now and then, my mum will say something like, but I need a pool, or I need a big house, or I want to be near the beach, or I want to be whatever. And I say, Mum, let's just come back to it. What is the core priority? And she goes, yes, be near family. Now, I don't reckon we do that enough with our lives generally. What's our core thing for our work? What is our absolute core reason for being at work? What is our core, the products or services we're producing if we run our own business, or our absolute priorities or responsibilities in our job, and be super clean on that. Now, with family, we kind of want to ask ourselves, so for our personal life, what are the most important things to me? Is it spending time with my kids? Is it giving myself time to read books? Is it following sporting teams? Whatever it might be, it's up to you. But really recognising the most important things. It makes setting boundaries so much easier. It just means I can say yes or no to things because I just check. Right? Is it going to keep me near family for my parents moving house? Does this help me meet my objectives at work? Yes or no? Does this help me do my most important things on the weekend? Yes or no? And sometimes it's that black or white. But there are a few things we can do. Now, I call it the 5 W's of creating boundaries. The first one is, who am I willing or not to give time to? So we want to spend time with people who help us be productive, help us co-create, help us feel energized and engaged. And we want to avoid those who suck our energy or are energy vampires or leave us feeling depleted. So it's sometimes good to do a little audit of who are the people in my world and, give them a bit of a score. Are they an energy vampire or are they an energy creator? And so we just want to check who, that's the first W, who do I really want to spend my time and give my energy and effort to? The second one is, when do I need to protect time and when do I need to make myself available? So you should be, from a work perspective, you want to be protecting the first 2 hours of your work day for yourself. So we want to absolutely protect that time, preferably every day. And for weekends, we want to make sure we say to ourselves, yeah, fine, I can do that, but not until 11 o'clock. Because I have, 9 o'clock, I want to spend some time. I want to have a bit of sleep in. I want to have a bit of time to myself to have a cup of coffee and just chill. So really think about the when and make some decisions about that for yourself. So the next one you want to think about, and this is particularly important for people who are working from home, these are physical boundaries, contextual markers about where I do certain things in my house or apartment or wherever I live. So you want to have a discrete space for work that doesn't overlap with where you relax or have playtime, if you will. So I know that some people may not, have the privilege of a study or something like that. I'm very lucky that I have that. So I have my own study. Once I shut the door on that, I'm now relaxing it at home, and I've shut the door, and the boundary between work and home is very clear. But for those of you that don't have that luxury, you might only have a kitchen table that you're working at. I'm going to suggest that you say one part of the kitchen table is for work, and then you have the other part of the kitchen table for meals, etc. Certainly don't take your work to the couch, and do not take your work to the bedroom, because that will interfere with and contaminate. That's the word I'm really looking for here. You don't want to contaminate other spaces with some of those things. So those contextual boundaries, so the where of where you work, is really important. So the next one is what do I want or not want to achieve? When you're really clear on your goals for the day, or your goals in life, or your goals for a weekend, or your plans, it's really easy to reject time wasters. Really easy to do that. So that's the fourth one, the what do we want to do? And finally, why? Why would I give one person or activity attention over another? I reckon we have a default setting which just says yes to everything, or the loudest person gets the most attention. So when we're given a choice, we should be a bit more conscious about choosing why I'm giving that person more time and attention.
Does it take discipline to maintain those boundaries?
Yes, absolutely it does, because people will only do what you let them. So if you maintain boundaries, people respect that. I've got a friend who works in a really big, important accounting firm, and she's very senior, and everyone knows that she stops for tea at 3. It's a boundary that she set, and no one books meetings at that time. And even I, as her mate, I'll sometimes think, I'll give Anne-Marie a call. And then I look at the time and go, it's 3 o'clock. No, I'm not calling her now. She'll be having her tea at 3. Now, people respect that. We're seeing more and more people respect boundaries around school drop-off pickup time, right? So back in the olden days when I started work and someone said, I'm sorry, I need to knock off early to pick up my kids, that was nearly frowned upon. Like, it was a bit of a career-limiting move. And that just says my age more than anything. But now it's an absolutely respected boundary. No, I can't do that meeting at 3 o'clock. I've got to pick up my kids. And so I think when people know, when you tell them what's going on in my world and what's important to you, people are really respectful of boundaries if they know. But where it gets a bit unstuck is if they don't know and then you get all resentful. They should just know, I need to pick up my kids. Well, no, they don't, unless you tell them. So I think, my friend, tea at 3. You got to pick up your kids. You're trying to protect some me time. You're trying to create some space to think. Tell people. It's just so much easier if you do that.
That was speaker and author Donna McGeorge. This episode of Business Essentials Daily is produced by the team at SoundCartel. Thanks for listening. I'm Nicole Goodman. We'll bring you more Be Daily tomorrow. Follow @BE Daily Podcast across social media and head to bedaily.com.au for more from the Business Essentials Daily podcast. SoundCartel. This episode was brought to you by Mazars. To find out more, visit mazars.com.au. That's mazars.com.au.